I am so stoked to be here and I feel very, very blessed with this opportunity. I will say I have been eating my feelings away in Pringles and Oreos the past few days. So today's a great day.
Honestly, I love it. A great introduction, everybody. We are here with Bella from Love Island, USA, also known as Belle-A. Have you heard that one yet?
Yes, Belle-A. You know what? Y'all can call me anything you want. Just don't call me late for dinner.
Bella, thank you so much for joining us. You were the first person to leave the villa this season of Love Island, and you're still in Fiji right now. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. But we want to know, how are you feeling? Like it was a short little stint. You got your water bottle still. You're still in Fiji. How are we feeling?
I am genuinely just so blessed with the opportunity to even be in Fiji, to even step foot into that villa. My time was really short-lived, but even if it was a day, I'm still happy with my experience. I said what I said, I did what I did, and I'm walking away with my head held high.
We have loved watching you, and we were sad about how it kind of all went down. But at the same time, I think we were both so proud of you and Sierra and how you handled that situation, because there's so many times when that can really tear the girls apart. But you guys really seem to have a pretty good understanding of, like, hey, we both like the same guy. I'm going to try to talk to him. You're going to try to talk to him, and we're going to see how this goes. Like, what were conversations like with Sierra when you guys were both trying to, vie for Nick's heart?
Yeah, so I'm actually really sad that so much of Sierra and I were cut out, that people didn't get to see, but we became really, really close. She is the sweetest soul and so stunning on the outside, but when Nick said her inside matches her outside, he was spitting bars with that because it's so true. She is such a lovely person, and I'm proud of how she handled everything. I'm so happy to have met her. And really, like Nick and I'm cool off him, you know? Like he was in this position that he's got two tens on both sides of him, like fighting for his attention. I don't think that's a real world problem for Nick. So I had to give him his moment and let him eat it up.
Honestly, so true. You're both absolutely gorgeous. You guys both seem so sweet. And I think we all felt that watching. And like Fran said, as viewers, I think we were just happy to see you and Sarah kind of be respectful towards each other. And like, okay, this is a process. Everybody's getting to know each other. Everybody's exploring. It's early days, as they say. And I think you guys both allowed that to happen. Now, during Nick's recoupling speech, he did mention a moment in the photo booth. And I think in that moment, we saw your face sort of realize that it wasn't going to be you. And as viewers, we realized that it was going to be Sierra because we had seen the photo booth moment. Are you still wondering what that photo booth moment was? Are you clued in?
Oh, I am very much caught up. I was for sure caught off guard because when he said, when we shared a moment, dot, 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 I knew it could go either way. And when those words left his mouth by saying photo booth, I knew that Nick and I had never shared a moment in the photo booth. So I knew in my heart that I was going home that night.
Mm-hmm.
But I had no idea that it was going to go that direction. I knew there was a chance, but so much of Nick and I's conversations have been cut to the public. All the times he was reassuring me and telling me that he's all about me and so happy to get to know me and be in this with me. All of that was cut. And even up until the very last conversation that we had, right before the recoupling, I was the last person he spoke to. And some of the last words he said to me were, Bella, I don't want you to worry. So I went in there not worrying. And then he started
Yes.
packing my bags. Like, what do you mean?
That is a common theme on this show where everyone's like, don't worry, don't worry. But then when it comes down to it, somebody has to be worried because somebody has to be sent home. And I don't think you guys are expecting in that moment when you get the text that it's, oh, this person's dumped from the villa. This person's dumped from the island. Like it could be that they're just single. So you really never know how it's going to go. I'm not sure if you know, but everybody online is very upset to see you gone. Like people were really, really upset to see you go. They loved your one-liners. Everybody was really warming up to you, honestly. And I think one of the things, when you begin to watch a show and you get to know the cast, it's like at first, we're a little confused because you were you had your boundaries. You were like, I don't kiss on the first date, so you weren't kissing the guys at first. And so I think some viewers were like, well, does Bella know which show she signed up for? Because this shit gets really raunchy. Like everybody's making out all over the place. But you kept your boundaries. And then we saw in the baseball challenge, you were like, you know what? I'm gonna have fun. And you let loose and you were doing your thing. What made you make that decision to start, making out with the guys versus how you felt in the beginning? Because by the way, either way is fine. I'm just curious to know what made you make that decision.
Yeah, I just want to say all power to my girls who feel that comfortability and going in and making out and doing whatever. All power to them. I ride for y'all. But for me, I knew that who I am in the outside world, I have that rule. I wanted to stay true to myself, and it's not that deep. I'm not afraid of kissing. I love physical touch.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to go in there laying a foundation of what I stand for and what I value, and I just wanted to gain the respect of I want to say boys. I wanted to gain the respect of the boys first and foremost. And what's not shown is me having a conversation with every single one of them and them telling me how much they respect me. And once I felt that comfortability and feeling seen and feeling known, that's when I let my guard down. And that's when I knew I wasn't going into this challenge with a bunch of strangers, but people who did respect me for my values and respect me for who I am.
I
And
think
that's
people were they were hyping it
decided.
up. Like I think all the girls on the show, the guys, they were like, Bella's letting loose. Like people were cheering it on. And I think that's why seeing you go home was sort of like, oh, like it seemed like you were opening up and like really letting this experience in. So it was fun to watch. And I think, some of your lines already, like this coochie's on lock. People keep saying that online too.
Oh,
Me being
I
one of them.
feel.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said me being one of them. I thought
Oh, I love you for that.
we were really cracking up at the one-liners and just kind of like it did for you. No, I guess I should ask have you seen all the episodes that you've been in?
Yeah, I
Okay.
am very caught up. It was
So
a hard watch.
yeah, I was gonna say, how was it watching yourself back? Because at first, when we were first introduced to you, it felt like we didn't really fully get to see your like full personality. Everyone was joking. It was kind of like a lot of one-liners, like a lot of like hit this line, and then like we got to see you open up and like have those conversations with Sierra or like some of the other girls, and hearing the other girls talk about, how they just think you have such an amazing heart and all these things. It's like, okay, well, now we're getting to see it. Those first couple episodes, when that was kind of like what was happening for you, what were you thinking watching it?
So, of course, I know myself better than anybody else. And the first three episodes, I want to say, watching those really broke my heart because I didn't see me in them. And not physically, but I didn't see who I am. I didn't see my character.
Mm.
I think that they just painted me as the third girl in this love triangle who didn't have any depth to her. And that broke me because I am this little bundle of energy who's crazy and weird and quirky and a little spicy sometimes. And I didn't see any of those layers to me until the last two episodes where I did feel that comfortability and finally opening up. And it was definitely a hard watch. I felt all the same feelings over again, watching it over, and it opened my mind and just like it opened my mind to a lot of different things and gave me clarity. But it was hard not really seeing myself, and it was definitely difficult finally feeling like myself and giving y'all a glimpse of me. And it was just the beginning and already the end.
Yeah.
So I am very sad that I didn't get the opportunity to keep growing and showing who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can imagine it's very disorienting. You're flying to Fiji, you're getting accustomed to there, then you're thrown into a villa with people you don't know. So I'm sure it does take a little bit for like your personality, or even if you are showing your personality, there's 24 hours in a day they're filming, they got to cover all bases. So it's like hard when you're watching yourself and you're like, wait, what about this side of me and that side of me? So I feel like that totally makes sense. And we're watching the Islanders now, the people you were in the villa with, and we have questions about them. And I guess my first question I want to ask is, do Huda and Jeremiah seem the way they do to us on camera, which is that they are going too hard, too fast?
That's tough. I have to say, I am the closest with Huda and Jeremiah in that villa. And I want to say I might be a little biased in wanting to see them stick it out to the end. But the first few days, I was checking Huda. Like, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't be so sure. Jeremiah was writing all the other girls off. I mean, maybe you guys even saw it. We were terrified to put him down for the challenges. We were terrified to
Mm-mm.
really embrace even getting to know him. And all the guys were terrified in getting to know Huda as well. So I think that is pretty difficult going into an experience and writing everybody off right away. And I definitely encouraged her not to do that. And I think ultimately they did do that. And I'm starting to see them clash a little bit, which makes me really sad. But I do know that they are genuinely starting to like each other. But I think it's
Mhm.
becoming a little real to them. And I also think that Jeremiah is letting some outside opinions cloud his feelings for Huda a little bit. And I'm terrified for my girl because I don't want her being left heartbroken and having nobody else to save her, no other connection to keep her in that villa.
Yeah, I mean, just as a viewer, I think, and you were there, so you would know more than us, but I think as a viewer, we're kind of wishing that both of them would like explore and experiment with other people a little bit more because, like you said, it can end up in a situation where one of them gets heartbroken and it's like, well, I didn't explore at all, and we were too heavy too fast. And now this is exploding because we were all in without seeing and exploring our options, which kind of leads me to Ace and Shelly a little bit, where they're doing quite the opposite. And it's like these two, like, do they like each other? Do they not like each other? How did you feel about that situation? Austin's with Shelly, and then Ace coupled up with Amaya, and everyone's like, it's a will they, won't they situation.
There's a lot of weird things that happen in that recoupling that caught everybody in that villa off guard. One being Ace not choosing Shelly to couple up with. We were all very shocked with his
Mm,
decision because everybody knows that they have an amazing
mm,
connection and a great chemistry. And they even met before outside of the villa, and them being in the same place at the same time for the same reasons again. And in this moment, I just feel like the stars are aligning and they need to let them. I think that Ace truly is such a slow burner and he wants that foundation of friendship. He doesn't want to go all in with physical touch right away. I just think he wants to play it safe with Shelly. And I think his way of doing that was like giving her some distance to figure out her stuff because he already knows what he wants.
I also feel like he really maybe at the beginning didn't think that Austin was a threat. And now Austin's really putting in the work for Shelly. And I think she appreciates that. I think that's why like he's turning it up a little bit now. You watch him with the I don't know if you've seen the pie, the they
Oh
like
yeah.
that was. I mean, my God, he turned talk about boundary. Like he broke all boundaries with that. He put that
He
pie, he put
brought
that
the
pea in his
heat.
mouth,
I was
and he said,
screaming.
"Come on, baby!"
I
Like
was like,
that was,
wow.
Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
sad I didn't get to be a part of that challenge, but it was so fun getting to watch. And I was maybe hoping and praying that Nick would get a pie to the face. Unfortunately, didn't get to see that.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
But yeah, I think like Austin really bringing the heat shocked everybody because Austin's just this goofy little guy coming in and he's kind of viewed as like the class clown of the villa. We always call him the dad of the group because he's got his little bucket hat and he's always just watching the guys do their thing. So yeah, I think Ace might be caught off guard a little bit by the
yeah,
heat that he's bringing, and Austin is starting to put his foot down. Like, I don't like the way you're moving around my girl. You had
Mhm.
your opportunity and you didn't pick her. So what are you doing? Slithering around trying to snatch her away from me. What?
Yeah, I think it's sort of like, all right, make a move or don't make a move. Like everyone be honest about how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Personally, I didn't love how Maya was talking to Shelly. I'm not sure if you saw that, but because it felt like, because it felt like Shelly was kind of being open and honest about, she's like feeling the connections. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I don't know what's happening here. And Maya's yelling at Shelly and what's going on there. How did you feel about that situation?
I do believe that Amaya's, I don't want to say anger, but reaction was very misdirected
Hmm.
because I do think that Shelly has just been doing what Shelly does. And she can't help that all the guys want her.
It's true.
She can't help that Ace is like falling for her and he's not fully happy in his couple. But I also do want to cut Amaya a little bit of slack after getting to know her because she is this amazing person, but she does carry a lot of deep-rooted baggage that I think is putting her in this fight or flight place. And she's kind of fighting right now.
Hmm.
And Ace kind of threw a little curveball by being all in on her. Like the speech he gave was beautiful. I had high hopes knowing them both individually. I was like, okay, wait, this could be a really cute couple. I'm here for it. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, this is just friends. Like, don't call me baby. Watch your
Yeah.
hand. Don't give me a hug. Don't do any of that around me. I kind of felt like the audacity was a little high with that one.
Yeah, because he was
Why
like, I
would
can't wait to
you,
share a bed, but don't touch me.
yeah, why would you choose me and then tell me you don't want me?
yeah.
What?
Exactly. And all in the same night, like she was saying, at least wait till the morning. Like, let's just like you just gave this speech, like let me enjoy it. I'm curious if obviously we saw you connect with Nick, but in your initial entrance to the villa, were there any of the other guys that maybe you had your eye on that we didn't see or that it didn't work out with, or maybe like they found someone else really quickly so you didn't even try?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw that I kissed both Nick and Taylor. I always thought Taylor was very attractive since day one, but he doesn't look like my ex, but he has some similarities to my ex. And so I that was just too close to home, you know? So I kind of put myself out of my comfort zone and went for somebody I wouldn't usually go for in the outside world in hopes that maybe it would work out a little better for me. And it didn't.
Are you wishing you explored with Taylor a bit more?
Yeah, so it's a really tough thing having loyalty in my blood and
Mm,
being such a girl's girl because Alandria is one of my best friends in that villa. And that, like, my loyalty to her really stopped me from even wanting to explore things with Taylor. But if anybody else saved me that night, it would have been Taylor.
Hmm. Now,
And yeah,
sorry,
go
keep
ahead.
going.
Oh, I was just saying like I got to have two conversations before I left and one was with Nick and the other one was with Taylor.
Oh, really? And what
Yeah.
did that
interesting.
conversation consist of?
It was just him telling me that he's really, really sad. Like he didn't want me to go home. He would have loved to explore the start of what we had. but he was nervous that if he saved me, I would have just still been gunning for Nick.
Very
So
interesting.
I was a
I
little wild card in his mind, and I completely can't help but understand why.
That is very interesting to
Yeah,
know. I feel like
totally.
as a viewer, we feel like Alandria and Taylor are getting to know each other, but we're kind of confused if they have the chemistry, they don't have the chemistry. So that is super interesting to know as an outsider. Um,
Yeah.
I am wondering the bruise on the lip. Is it feeling better?
So glad you asked this because nobody else has, and I haven't been able to clear the air. I went in there, and these guys just couldn't wait to get a taste of me. They became little vampires and sucked the whole life out of my lip, leaving me with a nasty hickey right there. And I tried putting lip liner on, I tried putting lipstick on, and nothing was staying. So I was a little afraid people were going to think, oh, she got some nasty makeup on. No, it was a whole hickey on my lip.
Bella, I have to be completely honest with you. I thought because you had the blue, the eyebrows going, and
Yeah,
with your look, I thought you just added a little blue into your lip. Like I
yeah.
totally thought it was a makeup choice. And then I saw your video where you said that it was a bruise. So it was just during that challenge that everyone just was so excited to get a piece of Bella that they just really slurped it right
I
up.
literally, like, obviously all the clips are cut, but those kisses lasted so long. And when I went in, I went in, and the guys were eating that up. And something you also don't see is Ace. He like looked back at Nick, he pointed and he laughed, and then he went back for seconds.
That man is a menace. That man
The
is
menace to
a
society.
menace. Oh my God. And you know what? People have a lot to say. He's
Yeah.
perfect for the show. You know what I mean?
I
Like he's giving what he needs to give for this show, especially a move like that. That's diabolical.
Absolutely. And I wish that made the cut because I thought it was hilarious. He was like, in your face, Nick, I gotta kiss your girl before you.
That wow, what a menace.
Oh, and yeah, like Nick was so upset that he wasn't my first Villa kiss. I thought that that was
You
wild.
chose him as the home run.
I know, and I think he's just a silly little boy in his silly little world, and he didn't
Mhm.
really understand that concept. But he just wished that he was the first for me. I think like the audacity there is wild. After
That
he
is
openly
wild.
walked away from the couple that we were in,
That's
it's
wild. Also, it's like
Yeah, he doesn't get to do that.
he'd rather be picked as first
Yeah.
base than the home run. It's supposed to be
yeah, he's a little slow. It's okay.
No, I mean, look, and then it's the same kind of thing, and I'm sure you saw it too. Like after Sierra really gave him the chance to be like, all right, like now that you picked me, like let's move on. Like what anything else happened? Like, did you say anything to her to reassure? And he was like,
Word.
no.
Oh, I think that Cat got that boy's tongue because never ever did he communicate what he should have communicated. He left me in the dark the entire time, and he was feeding us the same things. Once again, I can't fault him for exploring his other options. That's what we're there to do. But be transparent. Don't make me look like a fool and don't make Sierra look like a fool. We are both high value women, and if he's not going to treat us as such, then we both deserve so much better.
so true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, a couple of fun ones I want to just ask about you because we joked about the Bell Dash like the and that's what
Mhm.
everyone has been joking about online too. But like has that been your name? So it sounds silly. Has that been what you've gone by forever? And like what kind of issues arise with that? Or do you have to when people are like Arbella, you actually there's a dash in there, you got to fix that.
No, so my name has gone through this evolution throughout my life, and it's almost like my name and my nickname is associated by the place that I'm in. So I was born in Oregon. I grew up with the nicknames Isabel, Izzy, things like that. And then when I moved to Hawaii and I was in college, Bella was my rebrand. I didn't want any bit of Isabel left on me. I was paving my own path and I was starting this new journey, and I left everything and everybody behind that I had ever known. Bella was who I wanted to be. She brought a new sense of confidence and a new character.
Hmm.
And then it started going a little further. Like, why is it Bella if your name's Isabel Ann? You know? So then I started tying Belle Dash into it because my legal name
Mm.
is Isabel Dash Ann. My mom's name is Vera Dash Ann. So I am
Mm.
named after her. And that dash is in my birth certificate and everything.
You own
But
the dash. You have to have the dash
that's
in
mine.
there.
Put some respect on the dash. So yeah, no, nobody's ever put so much emphasis on the dash until being in this villa and hearing everybody absolutely going crazy for it, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Yeah, I think when we were just like, well, is it Belle? Like, do we have to
Yeah.
take a
Yeah,
pause? Or is it just Bella?
Yeah.
You know, is
Belle
it Belle
A.
no, it's
Dasha? Is it
Bella.
Belle
It's
A?
Bella.
Yeah.
Right? Belle A is a good one. But so
No,
it's
I
just
love it.
Bella.
Yeah.
It's just Bella. Yeah.
Hey, but it's your take on however you want to spell it.
Exactly. Exactly. Another thing that had just TikTok on fire, and I know it must be crazier for you because we're talking about it, and you don't have your phone, like you're not you're not back into society quite
Yeah.
yet. Yes, which is crazy. But it's like, where do you think like that evolution has come from? Because you said Oregon, Hawaii. Do you think your like voice has changed from different places you've moved to? Because sometimes people will be like, wow, in that conversation, she sound totally different from that conversation.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really know. I've had several people ask me about my accent, and I wasn't fully aware that I had an accent. But kind of thinking about it, I do know that my tone and my little twang might differ depending on the crowd I'm around. And I think it just has a lot to do with like my slang from being from Oregon, my tone and accent from being first generation American,
Yeah.
my accent around other Native Hawaiians. Like when I'm around other Pacific Islanders, it is strong, and I am aware that it is heavy around them. But when I'm around other people who don't have that same accent,
Yeah.
then I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for
There's
that
just
one.
a whole mess of things and we love it. It's that's why
Yeah, I'm just a
it's so
whole mixed
great.
plate.
Exactly. And we are hoping, and you never know, you're still in Fiji. We have our fingers crossed that maybe it won't be the last we see of you.
Oh, I'm crossing my fingers right there with you. I don't know what's in store for me, but I'm willing to walk through any door that opens.
Love it. Good.
Love it. We
Good.
can end on that note.
I was gonna say that could be multiple doors. There's a
Yeah.
hideaway door. There's a
Right. That could
can of
be it
more
could be
doors.
anything.
There's a lot of doors down there at that villa.
That could be
Let
literally
me walk through
anything.
all of them.
Bella, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You are a shooting star in this Love Island universe, honestly. People are loving you. They're upset that you're gone, and we're
Yes.
really happy that we got to talk to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I love your podcast, and I'm a big supporter of every single one of you as well. So being here is very surreal for me.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
thank you
Well,
so much. You're
enjoy
so
your time
sweet.
in Fiji.
Yes,
Oh, I definitely will.
hopefully it goes even
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
Thank you
Let the
so much,
people rise
Bella.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, give them what they want.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Amazing. Thank
guys. Have a
you.
blessed one.